Hello friends, this is Ina. I am not going live with this video only for the reason that I actually want to share with you a little snippet of video that I can't share with you at the same time that I'm going live. So I decided to pre-record this message and say hello to all of you. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching this, leave me a comment because since we're not live, I actually can't see who's looking at this. So leave me a comment, tell me, hey, I'm watching, all right? I would love to see you there. Hi, if you've never heard from me before, my name is Ina Coveney and I am a business coach and WordPress expert. If you've never heard of WordPress, it is a website making platform which makes me an expert on websites. That's what I do for a living. I have corporate clients. I make websites for entrepreneurs. I make websites for, and that's basically what I have been doing all of this crazy year. So the reason I wanted to come on here today is because something pretty remarkable happened last night. Now, as I'm recording this, it is Thanksgiving evening, so happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and I'm going to release this on Black Friday. So happy Black Friday, everybody. I hope you're taking advantage of all the sales going on, and I have my own version of a sale, and I'll tell you about that at the end because it's really not the point of this post, but I will fill you in on it. So what I wanted to show you was something that happened Wednesday night that just blew my mind. If you follow me on Instagram, if you don't, you should be, at Ina Coveney. It's very easy. If you follow me there, you saw me give a shout out to a couple people who helped me have a breakthrough. One of them was Crystal Jones. She's a life coach. She's all about energy. And we talked about a lot of things, and we just realized that I had some blockages in my mind that I need to clear, and I just can't thank her enough for it. So if you are looking for that type of help, somebody to help you unblock some mindset stuff, go to Crystal Jones. I'm gonna copy her. I'm gonna tag her here so you can find her. She was amazing. She is such a kind and loving soul, right? Somebody you will want to get to know anyway. So I can't thank her enough for spending that time with me yesterday. The other thing that I wanted to tell you was that I'm actually part of a mastermind right now. If you've never heard of mastermind, it's basically a gathering of super smart people, and we all give each other advice, all that stuff. But this mastermind is a little bit special because it's actually very structured, and it is hosted by Dr. Gladys Ato. Dr. Gladys Ato, I found her through Tiffany Newman, who is a branding strategist, and I met Tiffany through Meryl Kriegman, who is a copywriter, a high-end copywriter extraordinaire, and I was in her mastermind last April, and I found out about Meryl because of the coach that I had at the time, Rachel Engom. She's a Pinterest strategist. She's amazing. So all of these connections have kind of landed me here. So let me first tell you, I'm not going to just jump into matter because there's a lot of stuff you don't know, so I want to fill you in. Okay, before I show you this amazing video, all right? And I just realized that I'm not recording my voice in better quality, so I'm about to start doing that because I'm not gonna re-record what I just said. So my voice quality is about to get a little bit better. So let me do that right now. You guys will wait with me, won't you? Okay, that's gonna take a couple minutes to set up, and then you'll hear my voice a lot clearer, okay? In the meantime, this is what we got. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, before we start getting into matter, I'll just kill the suspense right now. My accent is from Venezuela. I speak Spanish. Venezuela is in South America. Surprisingly, here's a little tidbit that not everybody knows. Venezuela, it's at the north of South America, and it is north of the equator, so it's in the northern hemisphere. A lot of people don't realize. So yeah, northern hemisphere. So no, it's not summer right now. It's just always the same temperature there. So anyway, my story starts by being in Venezuela, having been bullied in high school, like the whole story that I've told before. That my childhood was a little bit complex. I had to do a lot of things to make sure that I was validated, that I was loved, all of these things. All of these thoughts are running through my mind. So when I got accepted into college to go here in the US, I went to UMass Amherst. It was like the happiest day of my life to be able to reinvent myself. And I still remember, I don't know if you guys do, when you got accepted into college, but to me it was such a big deal that I got that manila envelope with all the colorful flyers, right? The pink flyer and the orange flyer, all telling you different things that you need to know, right? About the campus. They give you the campus map. I love the campus map. I had it stuffed in my bag the entire freshman year. I remember flyers that would tell me where to find jobs on campus. I was already trying to decide how I was going to start making money once I got there so that I could meet new people. I pictured myself, because they call the bus that takes you from north of town to the south of town, they call it a shuttle. So I imagined there was a van. I know this is like a totally side story, but I imagined it as a van. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to drive a van and I'm going to meet so many cool people. And, you know, like I was so excited, right? To just reinvent myself to come to a completely new place. And so I got here, I studied computer science, and I loved it. To me, it was like a game, right? It was just a game, and I couldn't believe people were going to pay me to do that. Then I got a job, and I got a job at General Electric in their information management leadership program, and it was all about the CIO track, right? You are going to be the next IT leader of the company, and this is what you need to know. And within the first 3 months, I found myself, you know, wanting to just do something else. My mother, bless her heart, she asked me, begged me to stay, that this was a great opportunity, that it was a great company, that I hadn't really given it a fair shot. So to just go for it. And so I did. I decided, okay, just stay the course. But I found myself getting very depressed. I remember living in an apartment in Connecticut. And I remember calling my sister on the phone and telling her that I had slept on the couch that night because I didn't feel worthy of sleeping on the bed. Like, those were the depths of my depression, right? Of feeling like, what am I doing? What it is like life is not even worth living, right? What am I doing? My life felt like it had already been decided for me, that all I had ahead of me was more cubicles, more offices, more commutes, more of the same. And I pictured my life as having a very straight path, a very straight trajectory. And I didn't like that feeling, but I knew this was the right thing to do. I knew this was how you became successful. That's how I grew up, watching my parents be extremely successful at what they did, and going to the holiday parties at their companies and watching their offices and drawing on their whiteboards in their office, and all of that seeming so exciting. I remember my father having a secretary, and the secretary being so nice to me, right? I was the daughter of the boss. Of course she was nice to me. Not to say she wasn't a nice person to begin with, but I was treated like royalty, right, for being the boss's daughter. And I remember this. And I remember, okay, this is what being successful feels like. So once I started working, I started seeing my bosses, and I looked at their life, and I looked at their office, and I'm like, whoa, I don't want that. I just don't want that. And I passed up promotions. I got offered, a leadership role, basically my boss's role, because he was looking to move up to another level. So he had to find a replacement for himself. And he told me that I should do it. And I told him, no, but thank you. Thank you for thinking of me. And he thought it was the biggest mistake of my career. And I'm like, I just don't want to work for you for the next 18 months, right? Because we would have moved up together. And I'm like, no, this is not what I want. So what I did was I started volunteering. I started looking into med school. I was watching a lot of ER at the time. And looking into med school, I'm like, well, maybe I'm not cut out to be a doctor, maybe a pharmacist. Maybe I just like to learn about medicine. So I started looking into pharmacy programs. There was a great one at WSU, Washington State University. I was looking into this. I got applications. I never filled one out. I got myself the MCAT book because I'm like, I just want to learn this stuff. I started teaching myself organic chemistry for that reason. And I would just go to a cafe, right, at Wesleyan College, because I was living like right in Middletown, Connecticut. I would go to Wesleyan College and just sit at a cafe, get myself, I remember these like mozzarella Frita things, and with sauce, and I would just do that while I did chemistry exercises, and it was so fun. Then I joined the French Alliance to learn French. Then I started volunteering at hospitals. I came to Boston. I volunteered at the Samaritans, at the suicide hotline. I started doing all of these things to find meaning, to make my life feel different. And one of the things that I tried was starting a business. And this is not one of those things that I thought, I'm going to start a business and that's going to be my ticket out. I didn't. I was just trying so many things to find myself, to find what is it that I want out of my life. I know that I don't want this. What else is out there? So I started a business. I started making websites for other businesses in 2011, back in, when my son was born. And then I continued down the corporate path. I changed jobs a few times. I started doing consulting and I learned more about other companies. I'm like, okay, I really don't want to work in any of these places. None of this appeals to me, but what does? I didn't know what to do. And then that took me to where I am today, where something happened at work, right? Because I don't believe that anybody just wakes up one day and decides, I'm going to change my life today. Everything is fine. I'm just going to take a 180-degree turn. I don't think anybody does that. I think that there's an external stimuli that happens that gives you that nudge and gives you that final push. So something happened at work, and I thought it was a slap in the face. I thought I was going to stay another year doing exactly the same job I was doing before. And my husband, who was super supportive, he said, okay, it's okay for you to take a year off and try working on your business. So that's how I ended up here. All year, all I've been doing is, first of all, having the time of my life with social media, with doing these videos, building an audience. I have a brand. It's called Corporate Trailblazers. And I have a podcast called Corporate Trailblazers with Ina Coveney. And I teach people how to start their business, how to go from corporate to something else, something new, something exciting, something on the side if they want, right? You don't have to quit your job, because let's be truthful, nothing is going to make you quit you're not going to make yourself quit your job. Something is going to make you quit your job, or you're going to get laid off, or something is going to happen. And the question is, are you going to be ready when that happens so you can go off on your own, right? That's how I firmly believe these decisions are made. So that's what I am hoping. That's the kind of person that I'm hoping to speak to here, right? So if this sounds like you, I want you to stick around, okay? Because I have something to show you. All year, I have been investing back in myself, investing back in my business. And what that means is actually, putting down money to learn from others, to become part of other people's circles, and to get to know more entrepreneurs, to get to know entrepreneurs who've done this right, who are already doing, launching their products and making $35,000 in a single month. These are the entrepreneurs that, I want to be closer to. And it's like they say, proximity is power. As I'm closer to all of them, I get to learn more about how to do this crazy thing, right? If somebody else has done it, somebody else has succeeded, it doesn't make any sense for you to just try to do it completely from scratch on your own, because it's going to take you forever. And chances are by the end of the year or the 2 years, you will have not made it far enough that you're like, okay, I guess this didn't work, and then you quit. But if this is something that you really want to do, you have to put the money back into yourself. You have to go and find those people and spend time with them so they can tell you these are the things that you're supposed to be doing. So that's what I did. That's what I've been doing all year. So right now I am enrolled in a program. It's the mastermind I was telling you about with Dr. Gladys Ato, and it's called the Love Story program, right? I'm sure it ends in something else. Mastermind, workshop. I'm so sorry, Dr. Gladys Ato. I don't remember exactly. Is that we call it the Love Council, right? And love is an acronym. It stands for leadership, owning your magic, having a vision for your clients that is larger than the vision they have for themselves, and E is for creating education that provides inspiration and that changes their life. So this love program is created so that you can take your story, the story that I just told you, and weave it into the fabric of your business so that your business can be relatable and you can actually attract your target audience, right? You can actually attract your ideal client. So that's what I'm going through right now. I'm super excited. It has a public speaking spin that I can't wait to jump into that next year and actually find stages and tell my story. And something happened last night. Last night I was in what's called the hot seat, although Dr. Ato likes to call it the luxury seat because the hot seat just sounds like if it's hot, why would anybody want to be in it? But the hot seat is basically when you are the center of attention during the meeting and everybody else in the mastermind is watching you go through this interaction with the host, right, with Dr. Ato. So the goal of this exercise was to find out the why do I do things. And I want to show that to you because it was extremely powerful for me to understand why I do what I do. Why am I here talking to you? Why am I taking time away from Thanksgiving to talk to you about this, right? Why is this important to me? And the answer is not easy to get to. That's why I found this to be completely transformational. And what I would like to do is share with you a little bit of that exercise. And you're going to watch Dr. Ato like owning her magic and getting these things out of me. And I want you to know as you watch this that I know I have mental blocks. And I had full faith that Dr. Ato was going to draw them out of me. She was going to break my head open and get these things out of me. And I couldn't wait to see how she did this, right? So the blocks and you might see defensiveness from me. I want you to know that it's not willingly, that I was not resisting the exercise. I was seriously giving it my all and giving the best answers that I could. But it takes a very skilled person to crack through that BS that you have in your head and get the real stuff out. And that's what Dr. Gladys did for me. So I wanted to show you what that looked like because I thought it was extremely powerful and you might relate to this. So what you're going to see is just a snippet of our conversation. By this point, so I can put you right where we were. By this point, I've already told her my story and she's trying to find out what my why is. And she's trying to get me to explain what my target audience, who are people who are working full-time, who feel like there's something else out there, why would they find my message appealing, right? She's trying to find out that why. And these are the answers that I'm giving her. This is the explanation that I have. Let's roll tape and I'll see you on the other side.
What would be your big, hairy, scary vision for what you want your audience to believe is possible in working with you?
This is like one of the hardest questions to answer, right? I want people to believe that they can make the 8-figure mark by working for themselves. Because when I was in that world, like I said, having your own business was pocket money. It wasn't a vision, large vision. So even and I don't know if this will be part of my story or not, but when I started putting myself out on social media, a friend of mine, a very dear friend of mine, still a very good friend of mine, he called me up and he said, "Hey, I want to talk business. Let's go have some lunch." I'm like, "Great." And I was just starting the business. And this is a guy that I've always worked great with. So I'm like, he finally wants to do business with me because he saw me online. This is great. This is great. I go to lunch with him. I'm like, "Okay, what is it? What do you want to talk about?" And he told me, "Yeah, I wanted to talk about the stuff you've been doing online." I'm like, "Uh-huh." He's like, "It seems kind of scammy to me." But that's what it looks like from the corporate world, from that culture. This is not a possible dream. This is a scam. This is me trying to rip money out of people's hands. Wow. This is, something that I'm just gonna do for a year, and then I'm just gonna go back to corporate because that's the only way to make money. Wow. So those are all the beliefs that you have when you're in that world. You look at the people from the outside because 80% of businesses fail within the first year, right? So all they see is that 80%. It's like, okay, that's not gonna work, right? So they don't see that it is possible for you to actually start a company that will make you the 8 figures all on your own, doing something that you believe in. So I want to change that perception.
So if that were possible, right, for your audience, what would they be able to do, think, or feel that they wouldn't have seen as possible before?
unlimited schedule flexibility. Such any pause my video. Schedule flexibility. All those people in corporate are craving being able to work wherever and whenever they want, right? Being able to take their family on vacations without having to be tied to the 3 weeks vacation that they managed to negotiate up from 2 weeks that they had last year, right? So there is the aspect of doing something that you believe in, but I have to tell you, the word impact doesn't register in that culture, right? It is, if you're getting out to do something, it's about me. Okay, what am I gonna get? You're gonna get the flexible schedule. You're gonna get the great salary, right? The great income, so you can take your family on vacations whenever you want, do whatever you want, work in your pajamas, right? And do something that you like doing. You know, like that's like those three things, like would just satisfy everything that they want. A much bigger vision, it takes more than just the seed. It takes more than just me telling them. It takes them actually having that time to be really creative with where they can go and be exposed to many other people who are doing that same thing. So you can start to get ideas and build that vision. So my vision for them is that they can create a company and that they can have these things that in corporate is just stifling.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you to do something. Do you have a notebook that you have next to you? Can you put it away? Okay. There's something here for us to uncover, Ina, and I'm trying to follow the thread here. There's a deeper reason of motivation, okay? A deeper why for your audience, but also for yourself. Okay, and so what I've heard so far, and this is all rich stuff already, right? So we're going to follow the thread to show how far we've gone so far, and then let's add more color and variation to it. Okay, what we know is that in corporate you can get stifled, right? And you're not bringing your whole self into the picture, and you can get on that treadmill of the 10-hour work days and the 3 weeks a year of vacation and going through the motions and being on a hamster wheel and not spending enough time with your family. And you know that on the other side, right, the secret that you have is that if you actually step into this unknown space of entrepreneurialism, you get to spend more time with your family. You get to take vacations, not just with 3-week limits. You get to break out of this mold and get off this hamster wheel, right?
Yeah.
And when you do that, there's something really powerful that happens, because now you get to do it from a place that brings all of you. There's permission for all of you to show up, okay? This is all powerful stuff. And you talked about earlier on, there's some pieces that I want to start to connect, right? Because earlier on, you talked about depression and you talked about feeling the angst of not wanting to do this work, right? Like you didn't want to continue on this corporate path because it wasn't inspiring you. I remember there was a video that you shared, I think maybe it was your intro. You didn't want to be in your boss's shoes, that he was sitting 3 chairs away from you, right? There was something more. And now you're starting to define what that more is. And I want us to take that and go even deeper with the why.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it important that people have time to spend with their family and to go on vacations longer than 3 weeks a year?
I don't have all the answers. I'm going to tell you what comes to mind.
Yeah.
Is that right now they don't know any other way. Right now, they make sacrifices that they feel like are normal. Why is it important to them to spend time with their family? I run into the problem that a lot of them are just very not aware that there's just another way. So I could tell them, hey, you can spend more time with your family. I could get the objection, like, oh, I spend plenty of time with my family.
Yeah,
Right.
like, why is it, like, who cares? I already do.
Why is that a problem? Why is that a problem? I could tell them you could go on bigger, better vacations. My vacations are fine. I could tell them you could do something that you like to do. I already like my job. So I feel like there's a sense of just being content, of living a muted life.
And if someone lived a muted life, I want you to stay with me, sweetie. Okay, so don't write anything down. Don't get your notebook out. What would that be like to live a muted life?
It's like you didn't live at all.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
Yeah.
Anybody else could do your job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're totally replaceable.
Yeah.
Totally replaceable.
That's it, honey. And if that were true, what would that mean to you? To feel like you're totally replaceable.
Life is not worth living.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi again. I was just watching it with you guys, and I started to get teary-eyed again. That was an extremely powerful intervention that Dr. Gladys got out of me to understand why it was so painful to be in an environment where I really felt like my life was in black and white, like it was in grayscale. And that's why, doing all these extra things, volunteering and, starting the business and all that stuff, it added so much color to my life. My life became a blank canvas, and I could apply any colors I wanted, where my work, even if my work was in black and white, it was just a small piece of the bigger painting. And that's why I do what I do. And that's why I'm passionate about helping others see, right? Draw them out of the grayscale and bring them over to the colorful palette, right? To give their life more life. And I really wanted to show you that just in case this was in you and you knew there was something better out there for you. Because even if you're not planning on quitting your job, which it was never like my intention, it took me 15 years in the workforce to actually quit and do something new. So it's not about quitting your job. But once I started to have a life outside, right, and to do something else that was special, when I was at work, I had perspective. So I would be sitting in a meeting with someone else, and they thought that the issue we were having was the most important issue in the world. And I would just look at them like, I'm going home at 5 or 6 o'clock, right? And this issue will still be there tomorrow, and I will address it during business hours, because I had a life, right? Because this wasn't my life. My work wasn't my entire universe. That's when I started leaving my computer at work, right? I would not work at night unless I had a production release or something like that. I would just not. I would answer emails on my phone if I wanted to, if I felt like it. But I knew that life was a lot more than just my job. And I made a conscious decision to make that happen. So this is a message that I have for you guys. That if this is something that resonates with you, I urge you to make a change, to do something about it. Nobody else is going to do it for you. It took me until I'm 37 years old to actually make an impactful change in my life in such a way that I can see that I have a much brighter and colorful future, that I can paint my future, I can make it anything I want. It's not dependent on somebody else. It's not dependent on the salary that somebody else wrote on a piece of paper for me. I am making my future. And I wish somebody had told me this so many years ago, how to work on my mindset to make sure that I knew that anything is possible and that I can just start small and get a taste for it and meet other people and invest in my own future. I wish I knew all of this back then. So if all of this has resonated with you, I would like to really invite you to come and join me in my Facebook group. It's called the Corporate Trailblazers Unite, not without the. Corporate Trailblazers Unite, ! And in that group, what I do is I give a lot of like this type of talk, right? A lot of pep talks. I give you a lot of strategy, right? For like online businesses, right? How do people make money with this stuff? Like really, how can you do this on the side? I have, Q&A, so you can ask me anything. I have, all of this content is basically meant for you to prime your brain, right? In none of my videos, I tell you it's time to quit your job. That's not what I do, because I don't tell you what to do. What I do is I give you information that you didn't have before, so I can be planting the seed so that you can go and make that seed grow. And I am passionate about reaching people like you, because that was me back then. And I wish somebody had filled my brain with all of these crazy ideas and all of these crazy thoughts. I wish somebody had been there to tell me all of this. And I hope to be that person for you. So come and join us in the Corporate Trailblazers Facebook group. Also, and I'll put a link in here in the comments and in the description. I'll put it in here. Also, I wanted to tell you about my version of Black Friday. So I'm not doing a sale. You don't have to spend any money. I'm not doing a sale at all. What I want to do is I have a goal to reach as many people with this message as possible, because it could change somebody else's life out there, and that's what I'm in this for. So what I'm doing is, in my Facebook group, I am offering the chance to win a copy of my WordPress for Complete Beginners course. So I did create an online course this year where I basically pour my entire brain into, okay, how do you go about finding and validating your business idea? All right, because whatever it is that you have in your head, I'm sure it's wonderful, but if you haven't validated it and figured out whether somebody's going to buy it, you may be spinning your wheels a lot on something nobody wants. So I teach you that in this course. Like, okay, idea validation, because I don't want you to go ahead and make a website unless you've actually talked to people who want your stuff. Idea validation. Design secrets of the people who are making the 7 figures, the 8 figures, and I show you examples of those big shots, because anything you see on somebody else's website is possible for you to do on your own website. And I teach you all the tools to actually do that. So, and then we jump into, okay, from scratch, how do you get yourself hooked up with a host? And it's a video walkthrough. It's not like 1, 2, 3. It's like a video walkthrough where I show you how I do it screen by screen. How to set up your own host, how to set up your WordPress instance, how to go and download your theme, your layout, your demo, and start from there, and how to edit it from there so that you're never stuck in a bind where somebody's not getting back to you. You can absolutely have full control of your website. So what is this website for? Is once you decide that you want to do something different and put an online presence out there. So you're going to get this course. Oh, and at the end of the course, once you get your website live, I'll teach you a little bit of Google Analytics so you can draw in the behaviors that people are performing on your site, how you're acquiring the traffic, all that stuff. And I tell you how to get traffic, a little bit about publicity, a little bit about social media, a little bit about all of that stuff. So I set you up so you can now go get yourself traffic, get yourself an audience. I teach you all of that in this course. It's called WordPress for Complete Beginners, or WP for Complete Beginners. I'm not allowed to use the word WordPress in the course because of copywriting, but WP is totally fair game. WP for Complete Beginners. So I'm giving a free copy to everybody who participates in the giveaway. So the guidelines for the giveaway are in the Facebook group, and they're not easy. I am not just giving stuff away, right? They're not easy, but those who manage to accomplish it, automatically they get a copy of my course. So for free and clear, there's no tax, there's no shipping. Like, that's it. You just you're logging into the course and you're off to the races, and you have all the support you need in the Facebook group and in a VIP community that you get to join, because now you're part of the people who are going through the course. So that's what I have. That's my Black Friday offer. It's not a sale at all. It's actually just a gift for you. So thank you so much for listening to this. It's not easy for me to come and be vulnerable, especially on my Facebook personal page, because there's a lot of people who follow me who are my friends, who are my past coworkers, who are my family. And there's nothing scarier than going to people that you love and respect and tell them about your dreams. Nothing scarier. You're putting your heart on the table, and that's a very vulnerable place to be. That's a very dangerous place to put your heart. So I really appreciate everyone who listened this far, everyone who supports everything crazy that I am doing. And and thank you so much for listening to this. If you feel like you know someone who really feels like you feel like they need to listen to this message, I would encourage you, I would beg you to forward this to them. This could change somebody else's life. Just to know that somebody out there understands, and somebody out there made it to the other side, and that it's safe here. And I invite them to join us. So you share it, and I'll be super happy, and you will change their life. So thank you guys so much for listening. I'm going to let you go now. I hope that was fruitful. I hope that's something that you got a lot out of. And leave me a comment. Tell me what you thought. Tell me how it made you feel. And definitely go join the Facebook group if this is a message that resonates with you. All right, guys. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Have a great Black Friday. And I will see you in the next live. Bye.